Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today is a very exciting day because as you can see, we do have the 2024 Nissan Z Nismo. We're gonna take this out for a drive, of course, on these beautiful mountain roads. I'm gonna let you know why this feels so different from a regular Nissan Z. First of all, let's have a look at some of these exterior features that are different from the regular Nissan Z. For example, the front end has been completely redesigned. We do have a brand new front intake right here. Looking at the side view, definitely has some proportions and some features from the old Nissan Z, Nissan 240Z, specifically here in the rear. And the side view had this sloping roofline. We have the taillights from a Nissan 300ZX. Have a look at this. Looks like a complete modernization of the 300ZX taillights. Looking great. I love pretty much everything about this design. I think it's a beautiful car, and you have the Nissan badges pretty much all over this car. The wheels and tires also different for the Z Nismo. You have a 19-inch forged Ray wheels in black. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of black wheels, but in this case, I do think the black wheels with this race car inspired look looks absolutely fantastic on this car. 255s in the front, 6 piston brakes, 285s in the rear end. Another detail I love is this. I don't know if you can see it, but you have this shape in the hood. This is also a throwback to the 240Z. Let's pop the hood and let's see what we have powering this beautiful 2024 Nissan Z Nismo. So under the hood, we have a 3-liter twin turbocharged V6 putting out 420 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about 3.9 seconds. You only can get it with a 9-speed automatic transmission. You don't get the 6-speed if you wanted that. You want to have the 6-speed. You're gonna have to go with a non-Nismo, but this 9-speed transmission is a joy. Again, this is all about fun to drive, and even if it is a automatic, it is very, very quick, snappy gears. You have the crackling in the exhaust notes on the downshift, so it feels very good to drive this, even though, of course, it is an automatic. It's not a bad thing in this case. Top speed 155 miles per hour, and the price for this one, that's where it gets a little interesting, because this costs $65,000, which is a lot of money. You can get a lot of different cars for $65,000. We can, by the way, check out the trunk before we go for a drive here and check out the interior. Open it by pressing a button underneath this Nissan logo. Open this up. You have a pretty decent trunk space back here. It's weird that this part doesn't open up. It's only the top part, and this is what it looks like inside. Not really much to talk about here. First aid kit, cargo net if you're ever gonna need that. So let's close it back down and let's jump in and have a look at this interior while we take this for a drive. We can give you an overview first. So it looks like pretty clean, and what I love about this, when you're sitting in it, feels like the car is wrapping all the way around you. It's very cozy in here. You have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster and a screen here that is not too big. I don't need a bigger screen than this. We have some gauges up top, which reminds me of old 90s JDM cars. You have the boost gauge, of course, the turbo speed, and the volt meter for the battery. Now you can customize this screen if you want to. We have different layouts for it. Now we're in sports. This is my favorite because we have the big tachometer in the middle, and we have the shift lights up top there as well. But you can have it in sport, or if you go into normal, it becomes more of a traditional layout. Tachometer to the left, speedometer to the right, customized info in the middle. Or if you want to go crazy or have a little bit unique layout, you can go to enhanced, which is not my favorite view. It looks pretty weird with these type of things on the sides here, so I'm just gonna keep it in sport while we drive this around. As I said, pretty decent integration of the infotainment screen here. It doesn't have anything that sticks up, and it doesn't feel like a screen is glued onto the dash here, because that would, by the way, cover up these beautiful gauges up top. This is what I want to see. This interior is perfect for me. You have the physical dials for the climate control settings, the fan speed, and so on. Let's turn the AC on because it's getting pretty hot in here. The temp dial here, where you want the air to blow out from. You have no wireless charger, and that's something that I definitely want to have for $65,000. I definitely want to have a wireless charger here. USB-C, normal USB port, start button, drive modes. let's check this out. We're in Sport Plus now. You have Sport and Standard. We're obviously gonna keep it in Sport Plus. I mean, if you're buying a Nissan Z Nismo, I wouldn't mind if we only have a Sport Plus mode. It's actually pretty harsh in Standard. The suspension is different from the normal Z here. It's pretty harsh in Standard as well, but it's definitely a race car feel when you have it in Sport Plus. Gear selector down here, putting into reverse, not gonna be the best backup camera here. It's very, very grainy, but I still don't care because this car is all about the driving experience. And look at this, we have a classic old e-brake here. I love to see stuff like this in modern cars. I just feel like we have too much tech in new cars. One cup holder here, opening the trunk with this button, and you have a second cup holder hiding behind this armrest. You can open up the armrest. You have a little bit of storage back here. Now look at these seats, Nismo Recaro, looking fantastic. So with that said, let's talk more about this interior because I just want to go and take this for a drive. So let's put it into drive. Let's start in automatic. And I have the windows cracked a little bit so you can hopefully hear some of this beautiful engine noise that we have here. It's a lot of traffic today because it is a Saturday morning, so gotta keep that in mind. Oh, so good. 420 horsepower, as I said, 0 to 60 in about 3.9 seconds. I'm in manual now. We have the shift lights. Check out the shift lights up there. It just sounds so good, this car. Nissan knows how to dial in their V6 noises. It just makes the whole car vibrate, and the shifts are perfect as well. Very quick upshifts and downshifts as well. You have the crackling on some of the downshifts, which adds to this dramatic feel of this car. And we have 6 piston brakes up front, so the stopping power is phenomenal as well. We have no one behind us. Let's just floor the brakes here. Let me show you. Put it in automatic first of all. So we're going in 40 here, and let's slam the brakes. And there you have it. Pretty substantial stopping power with these big brakes that we have on this car. We can also do a 0 to 60 here after this cycle so it doesn't yell at me. All right, so let's quickly come to a stop here. First gear, and let's go. Oh yeah, this is a phenomenal car to drive. It's one of these cars that you will never get bored of driving. Let's turn the windows up because I'm not sure if you can actually hear what I'm saying. Down to third. All those crackles on the let go of the gas pedal. It just feels so good to drive this car. And the thing is, as I said, it feels, I had the Nissan Z for the regular Z with 400 horsepower, different suspension, not the non-Nismo version. I had that for a week when it first came out, and I thought with the manual, I love the manual transmission. I actually do wish that we could have this with the manual transmission, because I think it would add to the driving experience, even though the automatic feels like it's perfectly suited for this car, and it just pulls. But the thing is, this feels way more raw than the normal Z. It feels like a completely different car. It also sounds like a completely different car. It feels almost like I drove a Huracan Evo, and this feels almost like a mini version of the Huracan Evo. It's that raw, specifically in Sport Plus. The only difference I feel when you're putting it into standard is that when you have it in automatic, it doesn't rev as high as when you have it in Sport Plus. Down to second. This one is tested is about $68,000, and $1,400 of that is just the paint, which I don't think it's a cool looking paint. I just don't think that I would pay $1,400 for this specific paint. I would just pick a base paint job. Oh, but these noises that we have here. I drove the i4 M50 last week, and I said that's the best EV I've ever driven because it feels engaged. It's the only EV I've driven that actually feels engaged in that it's with you when you're driving the car. But still, nothing beats an internal combustion engine sports car like this. Let's go down to second gear and let's go. It is so planted, this car. It's so confident taking corners. You feel confident, maybe too confident as a driver in this car. Nismo has really done something special with the setup compared to the normal Z. This is a Mercedes sourced 9-speed automatic. Both the upshifts and the downshifts. Very quick and very enjoyable to use the paddles on this car. Overall, Nissan has simply created a masterpiece. If you're looking for a old school vibe when it comes to Japanese sports cars, and you're looking for an interior that feels proper and not too many screens splashed on the dash with some analog gauges and some analog dials down here as well, this is what you want. And this is what I think separates it from the rest of the cars in this price range. It's just how analog and raw and sort of nostalgic this car feels. And for those reasons, this would be a contender if I was in the market for a sports car in the $65,000 price range.